No, you're fine. Let me just get you over to that region and they can assist you with that arrangement, okay? All right. No, I'm actually at work right now, clearly, and I wanted to get on here and just kind of talk about. So, I've kind of been, well, not kind of, I've been trying to really, one of my big goals for this year is to become an entrepreneur. That's why I started my YouTube channel. Hello. So I really just wanted to so part of the reason why I started my YouTube channel and yeah, it's because for the past really 5 years since my son has been born, I've been wanting to be an entrepreneur. A big part of that is just wanting time to enjoy life, enjoy my son, enjoy slow mornings, enjoy late nights, and just being able to move at my own pace. And then especially since I've started back working, so right after I finished school, life was kicked into high gear. I basically, as soon as I graduated, it was right out into the real world. I was lucky enough to stay with my godmother while I was in school, so I didn't have to stress so much about bills and school. But as soon as I was done, it was full on life, right? So I just, and then not to mention that, but also just the pressures of school as well made it hard to have the energy to put into really anything else. I was trying to make sure I was giving it my best, and even really toward the end, I was just basically over it. I didn't even really care about it for real. I was just trying to do the bare minimum just to graduate, and I'm glad I managed to graduate on time. But definitely toward the end, I wasn't as proud of some of my work just because I was just really burnt out. Life was really coming down hard. And honestly, I was just trying to keep my head above water and just keep going. But I'm saying all that to say, I've wanted to start a channel on YouTube for so long, and I haven't really. Well, part of it was just not having the right, not finding the time to really do it. Also, I wasn't really sure about what I wanted to do. I didn't know what to focus my channel on. And so it was hard to just try to be an influencer. I didn't feel where I was in my life was really anything worth showing. It felt almost like a imposter syndrome, I guess you could say. I just didn't really feel like someone who needed to be on camera just showing off. And it's kind of funny because even on TikTok, you see people who are in really bad situations and they're showing off their lives, and it's just sometimes they blow up because of that. But me personally, I didn't want to show my struggle. I'm very private even in person. I'm not really big on talking about my feelings and coming to people for help when I'm going through something. I prefer to just isolate and get through it and then come back out when everything's okay. So but yeah, so I kind of wanted to talk about this new journey of me starting my channel, and then also what I feel is different compared to what's changed to make me want to really take it serious this time, versus just bullshitting it again. So yeah, so like I said before, I wasn't really sure what to make content on. I wanted to kind of do the mom content, I guess, of oh, newborn, single mom, all this life. But I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't feeling very, put on the camera. Life was hard, okay? And I was living in some really ratchet situations, and I didn't feel that was something that I wanted to just attached to my name. I didn't want to be just put that out there for the whole world to see. So I didn't really want to do that. Also, like I said, because of school and everything, just trying to juggle life, I feel I hadn't found my passion as far as what I really wanted to do. I know that there were things that I enjoyed, and I thought about just keeping it simple, a vlog style, but in a way that felt performative. And like I said, life, especially as a newborn single mom, it didn't really feel vlog worthy. I didn't feel anything I needed to really showcase. So I didn't have anything that I was really set on that I wanted to just talk about, and also I think I had really come to the realization that YouTube doesn't have to be you see a lot of videos, and I'm sure those videos do better, but they're more aesthetic and a vibe, and getting these making their life look a little more luxury and glamorous and all that kind of stuff. But me, I'm just I'm just a regular person. Like, I'm not out here trying to flex. I'm not out here trying to show off anything. Like, so like, I don't know why it took me so like just recently that I really decided like I'm just gonna sit and talk to the camera. Like, I'm not gonna try to show myself doing all this amazing stuff. Like, yeah, I may get some like B-roll footage. I might just set up the camera and just get little clips like and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna like intentionally plan on how I want to record things, or like, oh, let me get a shot of me mixing my coffee, or let me just get a little clip of me cooking dinner, like little stuff like that. I'm not intentionally trying to like, if I just set up the camera and record because I want to, like, I have something I want to say, or just in the moment I feel like it's a cutesy little moment, I might do it. But I'm not gonna be like, I have to record this. Like, I feel like that's more stress too than just living life. And with something like this, I can just, like I said, just sit down and talk and express what my thoughts and stuff like that. And I've honestly found myself watching more of those videos on YouTube. So I know that there is an audience out there for channels like this, where I just sit and talk to you guys and just express what I'm feeling and stuff like that. And I'm sure as my channel grows and as I grow just as a person, I'll be able to incorporate different ways of doing my videos and stuff like that. But for now, I'm just trying to get started. Like, and that's another thing, like part of the reason I didn't really do it before, as I was always making an excuse. Oh, I gotta have my own place, and I gotta wait until I finish school, and well, I need to wait till my kid goes to sleep. But then it's like our schedule is not really consistent. So it just never really felt like the right time to start it. And so that I was honestly making a lot of excuses for it. But even now, I'm just like, I talk with my family. I can sit and talk with my family for hours, honestly, just about all kind of stuff. And so I'm like, well, what's wrong with me just sitting down and just talking, like kind of like a video diary, I guess, just literally just talking about my feelings and what's happened recently and all this stuff. So I just said, F it, like I'm just gonna start. And if I only get one view, if I get 0 views, I get 0 views, but at least I'm holding myself accountable. And not only that, but it's really about me just being able to look back and see the progress on my life and just see how far I've come. And, just the different things that I've been through that's brought me to where I'll be in the future, where I am now. So, but yeah, that was one of my reasons before. And then also, I ain't gonna lie, I was battling some depression for like a really, really long time. And I think that's part of the reason why I felt like my life wasn't worth sharing, because it was like, I was feeling bad about where I was in life and the way things were set up for me, like outside looking in. Like I said, I ended up getting out of a toxic relationship, and I was living with his family for a while. Ended up moving in with my godmother. So it was like just moving from one house to another house, but it's still not mine. And then not only that, but I'm a single mom. I'm exhausted. I work, go to school, and parent, and it's nonstop. And so not only that, but then I have to answer to the person that I'm staying with and make sure that I'm keeping them happy. And it was just so much. And I just honestly just did not have the mental capacity to try to put on a happy face and pretend to play this character for the sake of making more money. But like, I knew I always wanted to work for myself. I knew I always wanted to, like, I know YouTube is a way to, like, I don't expect to get rich off of this, maybe with a few years I can make a good little chunk of change. But like I said, I'm just trying to start right now. I really am. And so just knowing that, like I said, just knowing that it's good to kind of show the good and the bad, like on the days where I'm literally like, y'all, it's been like the roughest week of my life type stuff. Like, I want to be able to share all sides. All right, sorry, y'all. Somebody came in and had to help my customers. But I forgot what I was talking about. So I'm just going to start on the next topic. Basically, so yeah, I'm just like, now I feel like I'm in a different headspace. And so I'm finally in a place where I can kind of start taking it more seriously. Like I said, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I have another like little business I want to kind of start too, which I actually started that a while ago as well. It's called Lightly Made. And it started off with me making like neon signs, or being like basically like the middleman for it. So I would get like drop shipped and then ship it off to whoever. And I wanted to eventually get into where I make the signs myself, but then I was just like, I don't know, it's too complicated. It's too much of a upfront cost that I don't have. So I kind of paused on it for a little bit. And then I started playing around with like other little illuminated ideas, and I was just like, that's kind of cool. But then I slowly like, okay, what do I have? And I'm going to school for digital art, so I'm like, what can I do with this to like create something new, basically? And so I started playing around with my own little like art, I guess, and I came up with like illustrated like portraits, I guess, but like put like neon in it to make it look like it's glowing. So I'll attach like a couple examples of it on my video. But yeah, for the most part, I was just like even like BSing on that a little bit, because really like I just didn't have the energy to give to it. It was like either work on that and be behind on homework or graduate, right? So yeah, I had to kind of put things on hold, but I'm finally in a place where I can do that. And so I feel like one thing that's kind of changed, aside from just having more time, is I have a lot of family support now. Before in Hot Springs, I did have some support, but my biggest support was just from my son's grandparents on his dad's side. They would basically watch him whenever, for however long, like literally they just liked being around him. And so having their support was nice. But honestly, I wanted to be next. I miss my mom. She was out here by herself. And, I have another sister out here, but she's very busy. And so she couldn't really be there for my mom as much as she needed. And so I just wanted to be closer, just to be more of assistance to my mom. And then also my oldest sister has a son as well, who's like a year or two younger than mine. And so I wanted them to grow up together, because they always talk about each other, like, so I wanted them to be able to have those friendly sibling experiences, because they're both only child. So it's like, that's like as close to a brother as they gonna get. I'm not having no more kids, so that's as close to a brother as he's gonna get. So yeah, so just having family support. And then also, like, I was really depressed, like, end of 2025. Like I said, I had just moved out to my house. I wasn't really happy with where I was in my life, like having to work a 9 to 5. At the time, because I was paying so much in childcare, it felt like I was just working just to pay bills, and I couldn't even afford to like stay home and just breathe. Like, life was really stressful. But luckily my sister moved in with me, and at first it was kind of like, I don't know if I could support myself and her, and I'm barely able to support myself right now. But like her coming in and taking him off my hands not taking him off my hands, but just helping out with him so I don't have to send him to school every day. It's like allowed me to be more financially free, and we are going to start using the money we've saved for that to start going to the gym. So like, I'm ready to get back in the gym and get back on that level of like self-care again, because me and her used to be in the gym like heavy. And like I said, I'll attach some old videos from back when I was in college. We kind of really started getting into the gym. And then like one semester, my college schedule picked up so much that I couldn't even make it into the gym. And that really, like, I think also took a toll on my mental health. And so now just being able to not feel so financially constrained, and like having a little bit of room to breathe, and I can like eat out and not feel stressed out about if I'm overspending or things like that. I can actually just enjoy my money a little bit more. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm working and I'm trying to do this video at the same time. It's a lot going on, but I'm gonna try to wrap this up, because I don't know, I shouldn't have, not right now. But anyways, yes, so I feel like the things have changed now. I have support from my family now. I have support in ways that have helped me to feel more financially free, which is opening up my space for creativity and things like that. I also feel like I'm more emotionally stable because of that. So because I'm not so stressed out about working and paying bills all the time, I can like breathe and enjoy life, and I'm a little more emotionally like relaxed, I guess you could say. I was going to say unwind, but I'm like, that'll make sense. So, but yeah, so there's that. And then also, I definitely think God was trying to slow me down by making me setting me up to where I have to live with other people for like the past 5 years. Because I ain't gonna lie, like when I first became single, y'all, I was trying to enjoy my singlehood. Especially when I was with my godmother, I was like, man, I'm ready to get my own place. Because I had a couple little like boo things, and I had one that I was really rocking with heavy. And I was like, I want him to be able to come over and stay the night and just chill with me. And, I want to be able to have company and drink and smoke and not have to worry about interrupting nobody else's space and stuff like that. So looking back now, I realize it was really like dumb. And I'm glad that I wasn't in my own space to do that, because the type of men that I was dating in my past was like, they needed help. Like they weren't standing up on their own. Like they were, I wouldn't say they were codependent, but you give a nigga an inch, he gonna take a mile. So it was just like, had I had my own space, I might have had somebody like bumming off of me, because honestly, I'm just the kind of person who like naturally is like a giver. And especially if I like you, like I'm a lover girl for real. So I'm gonna be doing all this stuff, not even really thinking about it until like I sit down and really just think about it, But I ain't gonna lie, it was like a couple dudes I could think of that might have taken advantage. And so I think that was God blocking that. And so, and with me living with other people, it's kind of like shifted my views of dating. I think it kind of like I said, it caused me to slow down and really like see people for surface value of like what they really have to offer. And within that time, I became abstinent. So I stopped having sex. I haven't really had that desire to sleep with anybody. And it's mostly because like, I'm not gonna say like, I'm just not gonna ever do it again. I might, if I come across the right one, have a little fun. It's not about like, oh, wait until marriage, or really, it's just about like, I feel like these men just don't deserve my energy for real. Like I said, you see all these videos of what does she bring to the table. Realistically, I don't feel like men offer me anything, at least the kind of men that I've come encounter with, like I said, a lot of the men and I think it's just based on where I was in my life as well. What you put out is what you attract. So a lot of the men that I was dating were just bummy. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, they were just bummy, like they were living off of women, or, their mama was helping them out with everything, or, they was living with their homeboys or just something like that. And I'm just like, I ain't gonna lie, I pay my bills are paid. So, excuse my French, but the fuck I look like helping a nigga who can't even stand up by himself, for real, And I just come to realize that by being single and not being able to date the way I wanted to, I think it just kind of forced me to see stuff for really what it was. And I'm just like, it's so many men out here, like, not to sound conceited, but a lot of men have come on to me just in my lifetime. And before, I was just kind of like, oh, he's cute, or, oh, like, just the attention was nice, but I've, like, stopped, honestly, I just stopped caring. Like, even if a guy is good looking, it's like, I ain't gonna lie, people just have too much baggage. And I'm at a place right now, I'm not saving nobody. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what your girl did. Like, and what's crazy is that it usually be the people who in relationships that try the hardest to like, do something. And the ones who aren't in relationships think that if I say I want to go on a date, they either expect something in return, usually sexually, or if you don't, then they think that you trying to trick on them. And I'm just like, damn, so we just can't go out and get dinner? Like, I ain't gonna lie, I do that by myself anyway. I be going out with my sisters and I'll pay for everybody, no problem. Like, that's just, like I said, that's just the kind of person that I am. I just enjoy going out and doing stuff like that. And so, and like, men don't really date for real no more. Like, dudes just want to link up and hang out at the house and do a little Netflix and chill. And, they don't want to spend money. They don't want to go out. They don't want to do anything. And it's just like, it's just lame, honestly. Like, dating has just become really dry. And so I've grown enough to love myself for where I am and not feel like I need a man to validate my worth or my beauty or any of that. Like, honestly, like, I think I've not managed, but like, I think I've intimidated a lot of men, like even people from my past that would like, I would be stuck on them for years. Like, I got two examples. So one guy, we started talking in high school, and we were on and off for years. He had a girl that he kept going back and forth between me and her. It was ended up becoming his baby mama later on down the road, but they got like two kids together. And whenever they was on their breaks, he would come fuck with me, and then he would end up just saying like, oh, I think I want to work it out with my baby mama and go back to her. And then a few years later, he'll hit me up, yeah, it just wasn't working out. But then and more recently, his excuse would be like he just got a lot on his plate and he don't really think he could do this right now. But he's always the one like reaching out to me, trying to like love bomb and like get me to like give him another chance, and I don't know, like I said, I'm a genuine like lover girl. So when I really like somebody, like I really be liking them. And even if we don't talk, I'll still like pray for them. I'll still like hope they're doing good. I still wonder about them. And it just seemed like every time I would start to think about this man, he would pop up like literally every time. And I would never message him first. He would always come to me. And so it's just like, but more recently, yeah, it would just be like, I don't know, my energy, I just stopped giving him energy. Like I stopped flirting. I stopped basically telling him like, oh, yeah, I always, it's always going to be good with us. I would always wish you the best. I still always hope you're doing good. I stopped doing all that lovey-dovey shit because I feel like he was just like used to just me still being so loving and open and stuff whenever he would come back. And y'all, we talked for like 6 years on and off, like 6 whole years. So I was just like, I don't know, just one day I just really didn't care no more. And I was like half-ass texting, not really responding. And I think he picked up on that and really just left me alone. And then there was another guy who I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I thought this was my husband. Like, he needed some work. He had some stuff he needed to work on, but I really thought like God was gonna work on him separately because like we talked and we clicked for a second, and then he ended up ghosting me. And I was just like, damn, like that's crazy. I'm over here showing you all this stuff and you like showing you like the real side of me. And like, honestly, I wasn't even coming at it. It's like a let's be together. It was more of like friends starting off, and we obviously there was some chemistry, but we were just friends, like we were really good friends and the vibes were just it was so good. And then, and then just out the blue, he ghosted me. And I was just like, I was really, really hurt. Like I was dead ass like sick about it. Like I was sick, literally for like a good like 3 months. I was a little depressed. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I was trying to do my little thirst traps just to bounce back, and I wasn't even feeling that. Like I just didn't even care about anything for real. And this was around the time I was getting ready to graduate, and I was just like annoyed. I was so annoyed. And but I finally got over it. Life happened. I just pushed on. And I ain't gonna lie, part of me did like pray for him and was still hoping that he would like come back. I was praying to God, like, God, please bring him back so we can like, all this stuff. It was a couple times I would pray for God to like remove him from my like desire, like energy and all this stuff. But he would still stick around. And so I'm just like, okay, maybe that's a sign. And then literally out the blue, like a week ago, he texted me on Snapchat, and I was just like, damn, like I ain't gonna lie, I haven't even really been thinking about you, and for you to just pop up like this is just crazy. But I was kind of slow for this because he was still living with his ex, but they wasn't together, right? And so that was like in the past before he had ghosted me. And so I honestly figured that there probably was, I don't know what happened for real. But yeah, so when he hit me up, I ain't gonna lie, I called him out like instantly. I'm like, I could be petty and not respond for 3 hours and do the whole shebang. But I'm like, honestly, I don't have the energy for that. That's not even the kind of person that I am anymore. I don't even care enough. Like if I text you back in 5 minutes and you take a whole 3 hours to respond, okay, that's you. But I'm gonna tell you how I feel straight up. And I called him out and I was like, look, this is what you did and it was fucked up. And I didn't appreciate it because I really thought we was rocking. And then out of nowhere, you fucking ghost me. And that was fucked up, And then he was just like, oh, you're right. I want to sincerely apologize. Like this, that, and the third. You're right. I know I fucked up and all this stuff. And I was just like, okay, well, thanks, And then I had posted a little picture on my Snap and he was just like, you're beautiful. And I guess he thought I was just gonna be like, oh, like thirsting over him, like, nigga, no. I was like, I know, you're right, and you're not the only nigga that have told me that. Thank you. Like, I got about 12 other unopened messages of niggas saying the exact same thing. So, and so then I had asked him. I was just straight up. I'm like, because I was just curious and I wanted to know. I was like, so still your situationship, y'all still like together or like living together? And he said, yeah. And he's like, but we could still be friends though. And so for him to say like we could be friends, it made me feel like they were still like together for real, you know? For him to say like, oh, we could still be friends. I was just like, at first I was just like, who? You could be friends with her, you could be friends with me, because I ain't doing that shit, you know? And he took it as, I guess he just like was turned off by that. So he was just like, all right, well, you got it. And I was like, period, I do. You're right, because you're not about to play with me. Like I said, like I'm not the kind of girl, I'm not gonna, like some men like toxic girls who will snap on them and like chase them and cuss them out because you treated me this, that. I respectfully will tell you about yourself and leave you alone. I'll leave you on red and never hear from you again. I will delete your messages, take your phone out my contacts, all of that. Like, I don't care for real, because I'm just tired of like dating. I'm tired of the bare minimum. I'm tired of these half-ass efforts. I'm tired of people just not caring for real. And so I'm just like, why am I so invested in these people who don't care? Like, honestly, like I said, I might have me a little friend with benefits, but that's just like, even that, it's like I said, like, I'm getting to the point where I have to be mentally stimulated in order to even be turned on. So it's like, if the man can't even do that, there's no point of me like having sex, honestly, because that's just risking my body, risking my health. And like I said, I don't want no more kids, and I know what it takes to make kids. So I'm just not gonna do that, right? Worry about myself. So yeah, but I feel like more recently, in me being like, what a glow F and F. Yeah, I'm skin glowing. It's clearing up. I still got a little acne, but skin clearing up. I'm like, my hair is growing. I'm starting to lose weight a little bit. Like, yeah, I'm finally like getting back to myself, and I'm like, I don't care about none of these men, whatever. Anyway, so I'm secure in myself, and I think that is also what's encouraging me to do this more, is that like I'm more confident in who I am, in my story, and I feel like people need to hear that, you know, like people can relate to that. And so it may be people out here who just, if they hear it, that'll hopefully spark them to do better, inspire them to, you know, try harder, and to, you know, maybe I don't need to put up with this either, and yeah, walk away. So there's that. Also, I've done a lot of shadow work. Like, in those seasons where I was depressed, I was literally crying out to God, get me out of the situation or I'm going to end it all. Like, respectfully, I'm not doing it. This isn't me just being lazy. Like, I literally been busting my ass for the past 5 years. I have nothing to show for it. I'm exhausted. I don't want to do anything anymore. I need you, like, to save me. Like, I cannot do it anymore. I literally cannot do it. And I don't know, it just kind of like forced me to sit down and really figure out like, okay, what am I doing to interfere with myself? What am I doing to get in the way of myself? And also like block God's blessings. And there were a lot of things that I was honestly doing. So I had to kind of like check that, you know, eating habits, screen time, you know, not honoring my son as far as like giving him attention and really like taking the time to bond with him, listening to him. My home was out of order. Like I said, I had a lot of clutter, and I was just kind of hanging on to a lot of old things just for the hell of it, not really having any purpose, but just because I felt like I needed it. And, you know, I'm holding on to all this old energy and I don't need it. And so it's just like, you know, speaking all this negativity over myself. Oh, I hate my job. Oh, I don't want to go to work. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like my house. I wish I didn't have to do this. Just always speaking negativity over my life. And so I had to really like call myself out and was like, bitch, ain't nothing gonna change at this point because you are negative. And so I had to really do that shadow work and really like stop just blaming God for what's going on and really take accountability for myself. And I think that has also pulled me out of my dark place, and then, you know, just kind of helped me see things in a different perspective. Now, I do still have my days where I'm just like, damn, like I can't believe I'm still here, still dealing with this. Not, you know, I'm still grinding, but don't have a lot to show for it. But even when we was doing Bible study with my sister and stuff last night, it was like, you gotta wait on God's timing. Like, basically, as long as you show up, God is going to deliver. So it may take a while to get there, but just you can't stop. You literally cannot stop. You have to keep going, because the second that you stop, it's going to be the second that you miss your opportunity. So literally, like, I don't know why God want to wait until we get tired to try to bless us with something, but that's just how he work. I don't know. So we just got to keep going. And that goes to my next point, is allowing God to work in my life. Like, for a long time, I always thought I had to do everything by myself, and I couldn't ask for help. Well, not that I couldn't, but I didn't like to ask for help. I didn't want people putting their 2 cents in on my life. I didn't want people talking about me to other people. Like, for example, my godmother, when I moved in with her, I didn't really want to let her know what was going on, but the situation was so severe that I needed to tell her, to the extent to where she would like open her self up to me. And I told her, and it was kind of rough. I don't want to talk about it too much, just because it happened. I'll talk about it maybe one day, but it happened. But basically, I moved in with her, and she was a churchgoer, and so just out of respect, I would get up and go to church with her. And whenever, people knew me at the church because we had went to the church with my mom before we just stopped going. But she was telling people like, oh yeah, she's staying with me. She's having some situations right now, and just basically just put my business out there. And I'm just like, well, damn, but at that point I was like, I couldn't even be mad, because here I am literally asking for help, and I don't have any other options. So I couldn't even be mad at her, just simply telling people what was going on in my life, because I needed her help. So I just had to swallow my pride. But in me being there, it really set me up to and within 3 months of me being with her, I got back in school, I got a job, I got my first car, and I'm still driving that car. And I've been employed the whole time I've been with her while in school. I'm taking care of my son, I'm helping out with her. So it's just I really did pick myself back up being there. And so even though it sucked to have to humble myself like that, it was still needed in order for me to grow. So, God uses situations like that, even where I'm at now in my house. I don't like my house, which I keep saying that, but I still have to be grateful. And I was telling my sister, I'm God is not gonna bless me with something better if I don't appreciate what I have now. So even though my house is dingy, dusty, dirty, if I allow it to if I treat it like that, God is not gonna bless me with that. So I'm the least I can do is decorate it, make it look less dingy, put my own touch on it, make it feel more homey. At first I was just kind of there, thinking, oh, I'm just here until I can get something else. I don't plan on being here long, this, that, and the third. But now I'm just okay, God has given me this opportunity. And there's no telling what can come from this. I may have to be here another year just so I can save up my money in the way that's because I don't want to move out of a rental into another rental. That's one of my biggest things as well. I want to be able to, the next place that I move is going to be mine, and I'm not leaving, period. So, I'm just I had to just swallow my pride, like I said, and really just own up to, okay, this is my house and no one's gonna fix it. My landlord don't really give a crap unless it's just something major that's just causing the home to just fall in, But no one else is gonna care, so I have to just do it by myself, and that's what it is. That's what I've been doing, and it's only been about a week, but basically just giving God the space to work and just allow him to do what he needed to do so that I can stop depending on myself. It's not just me. I have people out here who can help me, and I have resources, and it's just a matter of trusting the plan. And even though it may not be what I want in the moment, I have to see the bigger picture, and I usually do. When I look back, I realize how far I've come, and I'm just damn. For example, the other day I was reading the Bible with my mom and my sister. I told you about that Bible study we had, and the Bible that I had, they was dang girl, you got an old Bible. That's an old school Bible. And I was I'm not gonna lie. So for a hot second, I went to go stay in a women's home. And this was when my son, I think he had just turned a year. So he was a baby. And when I was in that home, I was so sad and just depressed of everything that was happening in my life. And I was just walking around the building. The way it was set up, it was usually for people who were court ordered to go or had addiction problems or abusive situations, and they were leaving, and so they had a blackout. days. For like the first 30 days, you couldn't talk on the phone. I couldn't have my phone. I couldn't go out anywhere. I had a job. I had to basically quit my job, and it was either have a job and be homeless or have a place to stay and be jobless. But I was only there for 5 days, and I ended up leaving. But yeah, the point was I was there and I was walking around and I was depressed, and I was like literally talking to God. And I think they had like a little book selection in one of the rooms, and I just started reading through them, found the Bible. I literally just sat down and opened it up and was just like reading it. And it's crazy that the psalm, I read Psalm, it was a psalm. I don't remember which one. We just did it the other day. But anyways, it's crazy how it happened. Like, you know, I was telling them, I was like, yeah, I got this at the home that I was staying in. And we ended up reading. I was like, how we just ended up on the exact same message that, like, reminded me to keep going when I was there. Like, I read that psalm and I was just like, wow, like, it was everything I needed to hear at the moment. And it really did save me. So even just having that Bible in front of me and, like, looking back on how much has changed since then, I'm like, I know, like, I have to give God his glory, and I have to stop trying to control everything, because it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work if I do it. I have to literally learn how to surrender to God and his plan, and stop being so stressed out about things going a certain way, or feeling like I have to do things that, you know, and I'm just like, you know, God is not gonna lead me anywhere that I'm not prepared for, you know, or like he's not gonna put me in a situation that I can't handle. And sometimes the downs are the moments that are meant to build me up, so when the good does come, I'm ready and I can support it, you know. Like my mom was saying, and even my sister, we were talking about it, how one of the worst things that can happen is when you pray for God to give you a blessing, and then he gives it to you and you realize that you can't sustain it. Like you're not prepared for the blessing, you know, basically. And so it's just like, I feel like in all these, like, even just now, like not being where I am, is like all of this is just building my muscle. It's just building me up to be prepared for when God does bless me, you know. And so there's that. And then the final thing I feel like that finally made me feel like I'm ready to start is I've always had visions, like as a kid, dreams of just like being in a like big home. And I think part of it's because I grew up a little poor, that I always wanted to, like, you know, live this nice life. But I've always just had daydreams, dreams, just, you know, moments of like, I'm gonna be living this kind of life one day. Like I'm gonna have the life that I've envisioned. Even as a kid with my toys, I would play like we were all just like rich and things were good. Not just that I want to be super rich, but I want to be comfortable. I want to be able to enjoy life comfortably financially and not have to worry about anything. And I've always felt in my spirit that I will have that life one day. And so I don't know, I just want to be able to record my journey, and just to be able to look back and see that I spoke it into existence, and like I affirmed it. Like I am going to have that life, and I know God is setting me up for that. So I just want to remember how I got here, and even when things start to get down, like I can look back on my videos and be like, you know, it's okay. Like it don't stay down forever, you know. So all of that has it kind of encouraged me to really just do it. And I think that just being able to sit and talk about it and express like what it is that I'm feeling, and the things that I want to happen, and the steps along the way, and the, you know, stuff like that. People need to see that. People need to hear it, and to be aware that you're not the only one, but B, also just as a reminder that you know, you can get through it. Whether I'm talking to myself or I'm talking to you guys, like you can get through it. Don't let up when things get hard. Don't settle when things get comfortable. Like you always have to push yourself out of your comfort zone to be better, and that's what causes growth. That's what causes pressure makes diamonds, right? So you have to put yourself in these uncomfortable situations in order to become a better version of yourself. You're going to have periods of being down, and you know, like a seed, there's a reference or something that I heard that is like, you know, a seed is put in the ground, and it's this little bitty seed. And when it finally does start to pour, you know, it has to push through all the soil, and it's fighting the rain and the earth and the bugs and everything, but it finally sprouts and it grows into something beautiful. So it's like, that's me. You know, I have to push through all these tough times in order to reach my glory days. And so I know it's coming. I can't say when, I can't say how God is going to allow it to all unfold, but that's what this is for, so I can see the process and like show y'all like how far I've come, and let y'all know that that was only God. Obviously with my hard work and my faith, like, yes, but God is literally like moving mountains for me and my family, and I just want y'all to be along for the ride. So again, yeah, so if any of y'all out there think about starting a YouTube channel and you don't know what the hell it goes to, what to even talk about, what to record, you don't feel like your life is worthy of recording, just sit down and just talk to the camera. Start video diarying your thoughts in your life, and you never know who'll be interested in. Nobody might be interested in it, honestly, but it's just a matter of doing it. Like, once you start, I feel like, you know, things will come as you do it, and just go, just start, and I think you'll be amazed with what happens, and how your life literally will transform before your eyes. And like I said, it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. It's going to be some rain, but you don't get rainbows without rain. So you know, just remember that when days get hard, and also remember to have community. It's good to have people around you to pull you out of those dark spaces. You don't have to do it on your own, even though it does suck to have to ask for help and depend on other people at times. That sometimes can be your saving grace, and you never know how that can bless you if you just speak up. So don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to reach out. And even if it's just talking, even if it's just doing this, sitting in front of the camera and putting all your thoughts out there, like, don't hold it in, let it out, let yourself cry, let yourself grieve, let yourself just feel so many different emotions, that because that's a part of growth as well. When you bottle it up and you hang on to it, you're blocking you're like how I am with my home. I have so much stuff in my home that is like I'm interfering with anything that God is trying to give me, because it's no room. There's no room in there for me to accept anything new. So I had to get rid of a lot of stuff. So same with emotions. Whenever you hang on and bottle emotions, you're blocking space for the positive to come in and like change you and to mold you and to rearrange how you feel and how you think. So let stuff go. If you got old stuff in your home that is a reminder of your past, and not in a good way, let it go. If you got pieces of furniture or clothing, I'm sorry y'all, my video cut out like at the last 30 seconds of me trying to wrap it up because I ran out of space on my phone, so I have to go through my messages and I don't know, clear some stuff out. But yeah, I just wanted to say basically, you know, you're not alone. Give God the space to work in your life, and let things go, you know, and give yourself time and space to heal. So that's basically it. If you want to start a YouTube channel, just start. Don't wait on the perfect opportunity. There's never a perfect opportunity. Just start. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for checking out my channel. If you are interested in my videos, please be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know, you know, any thoughts you guys have on anything, and I hope to see you guys on the next one.